Hey guys, this is Ryan from Untitled Astronaut. I'm going to do another keyboard repair video today. I got with me a Roland VR-09. This is actually from the band Space Bacon, so if you haven't seen those guys, you should check them out. Super awesome. But I have Chris's VR-09 here with me today, and he spilled some beer in the keybed. Is acting kind of weird, so I'm going to show you guys how to take it apart, how to clean the keybed, and get everything back together and working nice. So before we get started, I got a couple things. So I got the keyboard here. I got it on a nice blanket. Towel would work fine, but you know, just something to protect it when we flip it over. I got some isopropyl alcohol. I got a bunch of different size screwdrivers, a bunch of different mugs where I'm going to put different size screws so I can remember how everything goes back together. And I got some cotton balls. So here we go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do here is I flipped the keyboard over, and I'm going to take out all the large screws. I haven't opened this keyboard yet, so not entirely sure if that's where to start, but that's where we're going to start. It seems like the most logical place to start. I'm going to leave all the small screws in place because these probably hold in the keybed, and I don't want the keybed to fall out. I just want to take the casing off. I'm going to keep these screws in here. I'm not sure what those do yet, so we're just going to start with the big ones. Okay, so it turns out that you actually have to take off all of the screws in the back, so that's actually super easy though, so just take them all off. There's two different size screws, so all these holes with the indentations and these screws along the very bottom, these are all the same size, so I just put them all in this cup. And then there's this row of screws here, and this middle row of screws here. They're a little smaller, but they're the same size, so I put them in this cup. And then the back is free to open up, so you can pull this off, and you got to be careful. See, there's this wire in here that's attached. You just got to detach that very carefully from the little circuit board there, and then you can remove the whole back panel. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll see you in a second. So now that we got the back off, you can see what's going on here. There's going to be this screw here and this screw over here, which is holding the key assembly in place. Then there's this little data cable, so you're going to need to disconnect this carefully. Looks like it just pulls straight out. Just be careful. Now that I have the back plate off, you can see just like how dirty these get. Just from regular use, like there's just like a bunch of skin and hairs in there. It's pretty gross, but you can kind of see like the stickiness of the beer in here. So this is safe to just clean off with like lukewarm water. Just gonna be careful around this tape. I don't know why it's there, but I'm just gonna make sure it doesn't come off. And then I'll remove the key assembly and we'll get into cleaning that up. So hang tight. So turns out there were two of these little data connectors. They just pull straight out, super easy, and then after you get those screws out, the assembly just kind of slides right out. So you just carefully remove that. From here, I could see there was some stickiness in the board, so I'm just starting to clean that up with some cotton balls. You can see some cruds coming off. Cotton ball with the isopropyl alcohol. You just carefully get that stuff up. Isopropyl alcohol evaporates really quickly, so that's why we're using that. Next I'm going to figure out how to get these keys off and get at the actual contacts on the other side, because that's where the real concerning damage is going to be. So looks like we're going to need to carefully remove these screws, or springs I mean, and then the keys should come up. And then there's some contacts on the other side that we can clean. Very similar to the access virus video, except we didn't have to remove any springs. So we'll see you in the next one. Alright, so this part is pretty tedious, but what you want to do is you just detach these springs, and then the keys just kind of come off. A couple things to watch out for here. These pegs here and here are covered in like what appears to be Vaseline or some kind of grease. I imagine that keeps the keys quiet. I'm gonna avoid touching that because I don't know if it is Vaseline or if it's some kind of special grease, and I just don't want to be involved with replacing it. So just be careful. That's going to be on the other side of the keys too. What I did before I got started here is I just like cleaned along the tops of all of these with the isopropyl. It's like an area that you don't usually get at, and it was just kind of gross. I took this opportunity to clean off all the keys too because they're a little sticky from the beer. And what we're trying to do is remove the key bed in sections so we can get at these. These are the contact strips, so like when key presses down, this gets pressed. There's like little pieces of metal on the other side of this that come in contact with the circuit board and registers that the key was pressed. So I want to clean the tops of these because it's covered up in beer, it's sticky, and I imagine the keys will just get sticky over time. So you can see there's some gunk here, and we're just gonna clean that out. It looks pretty sealed, so I'm like not gonna clean underneath it. I don't think. I feel like that would be more just opening us up to the possibility of messing something up. So I'll see you in the next video. So what I've been doing is I've been taking these springs off and taking the keys out in sections. Just makes it a little easier to keep track of what's going on. So after you get the spring off, you can just kind of push down and slide out. The keys come right out. And it helps to just slide down and out. Keep everything in order, because it's surprisingly more difficult than you think to remember how a keyboard goes back together. So you just take the things out. Oops, missed one. And then you can get at the contacts, and you can see this is starting to get pretty gunked up over here. So it's definitely where the beer was spilled. And you just clean that with isopropyl alcohol, and you're good to go. So I'm going to do this for the rest of the keyboard. Put the springs back on, put everything back together, and we'll fire it up. Alright, we got everything back together. Word of advice, after you get everything hooked back in, plug it in and give it a check before you like screw in all the screws on the back. That way if you have to take something apart, you don't have to take out 20 screws again. But I got everything back together and everything works still, so that's great. Check all the keys and you're good to go. So if you guys like this video, please give a thumbs up or subscribe. If you guys haven't checked out Space Bacon yet, you should check them out. They're pretty awesome. If you guys want to stay up to date with what's going on with me and Funkadelic Astronaut, please check out our website, www.funkadelicastronaut.com, and sign up for our mailing list. Hope to see you guys soon. Take care.